Who is in control of your life? You or the weaker version of yourself? Every morning, two versions of you wake up. One is disciplined, focused, and ready to face life's trials. The other is ruled by fear, comfort, and excuses. These two selves are at war, and only one will survive. The Stoics understood this battle well. They knew that our greatest enemy is not the world outside, but the impulses within: laziness, self-doubt, and weakness. To conquer life, you must first conquer yourself. You must silence the voice that whispers, "Stay comfortable," and listen to the one that commands, "Rise." This is not a path for those who seek ease. It demands self-mastery, discipline, and an unshakable will. It is the art of forging yourself into something greater, someone unbreakable. The question is not whether the battle will come. It is already here. The only question is, who wins today? Chapter 1. The Death of Excuses. Excuses are the refuge of the weak. I'll start tomorrow. It's too hard. I don't feel like it. These words are chains, keeping you shackled to mediocrity. Every time you utter them, you surrender to the weaker version of yourself. The Stoics had no patience for such self-deception. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Strength is not built in moments of comfort. It is forged in resistance. The battle begins the moment hesitation creeps in. When weakness whispers, 'Stay in bed,' you must rise immediately. When doubt suggests delay, you must act without question. Action is the antidote to excuses. The mind must learn that your commands are absolute. Train yourself to move before the excuse takes hold. Do one hard thing every morning: cold showers, exercise, reading philosophy, whatever forces you to confront discomfort. The weak self waits. The strong self moves. Who you become is determined by this choice, repeated daily. Kill your excuses, or they will kill your potential. The time for hesitation is over. Act now. Chapter 2. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is a mirage, deceptive, fleeting, and unreliable. It appears when times are easy and vanishes when you need it most. The weak wait for motivation, hoping for the perfect moment to act. The strong operate on discipline, routine, and an unshakable will to move forward, regardless of how they feel. Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Preparation is built on discipline, not inspiration. The disciplined man does not wait for a spark of energy. He acts because action is his nature. Whether tired or energized, whether excited or indifferent, he moves forward. Emotions are temporary, but consistency builds greatness. Your weaker self will whisper, "You worked hard yesterday. Rest today." It will tempt you with false logic, convincing you that effort can wait. But the strong version of you silences that voice with action. He does not ask, "Do I feel like it?" He declares, "I do it anyway." No great philosopher, athlete, or leader ever relied on motivation. They forged themselves through daily, unshakable habits. A warrior does not train only when he feels ready. He trains because his survival depends on it. The disciplined man does not deliberate. He executes. He does not negotiate with weakness. He crushes it. Every time you act without waiting for motivation, you prove that you are in control. Over time, discipline becomes your identity. The weak hesitate. The strong move. Choose now. Who will you be? Chapter 3. Hardship is your ally. Weak men run from discomfort, clinging to ease and pleasure, but in doing so, they weaken themselves. The strong embrace struggle, knowing that true growth is found in adversity. The Stoics understood this well. Hardship was not an obstacle, but a teacher, a forge that tempers the soul. Difficulties show a person what they truly are, Epictetus said. If you never face resistance, you never grow. If you avoid struggle, you remain fragile. Your weaker self fears pain, seeking shortcuts and excuses. It tells you that suffering is unnecessary, that comfort is the ultimate goal. But the strong self knows the truth. Adversity is not something to be feared. It is fuel for transformation. Every hardship is an opportunity to become more disciplined, more resilient, more unshakable. Marcus Aurelius did not wish for life to be easier. He wished to be stronger. Seneca practiced voluntary hardship so that no misfortune could ever break him. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. The weak allow pain to defeat them, to justify their inaction. The strong use it as a sharpening stone. A body that aches from discipline is a body growing stronger. A mind tested by hardship is a mind gaining wisdom. Every challenge is a mirror. Will you see your potential, or will you turn away? The world will not go easy on you. Life will test you in ways you cannot predict. The only way to prepare is to embrace struggle before it arrives. Weakness is burned away through effort, through relentless action, through the pursuit of self-mastery. The man who seeks comfort will never achieve greatness. The man who seeks challenge will discover strength he never knew existed. Growth happens in the friction between who you are and who you are becoming. Avoid friction and you stay the same. Embrace it and you evolve. Do not fear hardship. Welcome it. Face it. Overcome it. And in the process, become unstoppable. Chapter 4. Mastering Your Emotions. Weak men are slaves to their emotions, allowing anger, fear, and anxiety to control them. They react impulsively, surrendering their power to external circumstances. Like a ship lost in a storm, they are tossed in every direction, unable to steer their own course. Their lack of self-control leaves them weak, unreliable, and easily manipulated by forces outside their control. The strong man, however, rules over his emotions with discipline and reason. He does not suppress them, nor does he blindly obey them. He understands that emotions are natural, but they must be governed, not followed. A moment of unchecked anger can destroy a lifetime of respect. A decision made in fear can imprison a man for years. Anxiety can paralyze the mind, robbing it of decisive action. The strong do not allow fleeting feelings to dictate their fate. They pause, reflect, and act with intention. True strength is not the absence of emotion, but the mastery of it. Emotions are signals, not commands. The strong man acknowledges them, extracts their lessons, and channels them into disciplined action. When anger arises, he questions it. Is this justified? Is this useful? If not, he discards it. When fear whispers doubt, he confronts it, demanding proof of its legitimacy. He recognizes that most fears are illusions, shadows that vanish when challenged. A weak man is ruled by his impulses, forever at their mercy. The strong man is like a mountain, unmoved by storms, unshaken by the winds of fleeting emotions. Control your emotions, or they will control you. Master your mind, or the world will master you. Choose discipline. Choose strength. Become unshakable. Chapter 5. Self-respect through self-discipline. The weak self craves validation, constantly seeking approval, applause, and recognition. It depends on the opinions of others for its sense of worth, mistaking external praise for internal value. But this is a trap, one that keeps a man forever enslaved to forces outside his control. The more he chases validation, the more powerless he becomes. The strong self, on the other hand, builds self-respect through discipline. His worth is not dictated by likes, comments, or fleeting praise. It is forged in action, in the relentless pursuit of personal excellence. A man who truly respects himself does not bend to the shifting winds of approval or criticism. His identity is a fortress, unshakable, immovable, untouchable. Seneca warned, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The weak self wastes time chasing approval, scrolling mindlessly, comparing and seeking validation. The strong self uses time as a weapon, sharpening his mind, strengthening his body, and refining his character. A disciplined man does not need recognition. He commands respect through his actions. He does not beg to be noticed. He earns admiration through mastery. The weak want to be liked. The strong want to be capable. The weak seek affirmation. The strong seek excellence. There is no end to external validation. It is a bottomless pit. Another person to impress, another opinion to chase, another audience to satisfy. But the strong man realizes that his purpose is not to please everyone. It is to be true to himself. He does not ask permission to live on his terms. He does not compromise his character for approval. Instead, he builds himself into a force that demands respect, not through words, but through sheer presence, competence, and unwavering discipline. When you live by this principle, you are free, no longer chained to the judgment of others, no longer desperate for approval. Your worth is self-generated, proven through your daily actions. True self-respect is earned in the quiet moments of discipline, in the decision to persist when quitting would be easier. It is built through commitment, through overcoming struggle, through holding yourself to a higher standard than anyone else ever could. A strong man does not ask for respect. He embodies it. He does not talk about his strength. He demonstrates it. He does not chase validation. He becomes someone so disciplined, so capable, so relentless, that respect follows him naturally. Remove distractions that weaken your mind. Develop skills that make you valuable. Build daily habits that reinforce self-respect. Reading, training, deep work. Master yourself, and you will never need approval from anyone again. Chapter 6. The Art of Endurance. A man who cannot endure hardship will never rise above mediocrity. The weak crumble when faced with difficulty. They complain, they make excuses, they look for an escape. But the strong endure. They understand that pain is not an enemy, it's a teacher, a necessary toll on the road to greatness. They do not seek an easy path, because they know that every great achievement is built upon struggle, perseverance, and relentless effort. The Stoics embraced endurance as a fundamental virtue. Epictetus said, "Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whichever way they happen. This is the path to peace." This is not passive acceptance, but the ultimate act of strength, embracing adversity as fuel for growth. A man who refuses to break under hardship develops a mind of steel. He does not fold under pressure. He thrives in it. Every obstacle becomes a lesson, every setback an opportunity to prove his resilience. Endurance is not mere survival, it is transformation through struggle. The man who endures does not just hold on, he adapts, learns, and grows stronger. He sees pain not as suffering but as refinement. While others complain, he takes action. While others seek comfort, he chooses the harder path, knowing that hardship forges him into something greater. A man who builds endurance through discipline and patience becomes unstoppable. His body may tire, but his spirit remains unshaken. His path may be long, but he never doubts his ability to reach the destination. He does not panic under pressure. He stays composed, assessing every challenge with clarity and logic. To cultivate endurance, seek challenges daily. Push your physical and mental limits. Train yourself to embrace discomfort, to crave struggle as the fuel for your evolution. Learn something new that intimidates you. Step into situations that test your patience and expose yourself to controlled adversity. In discomfort, growth is found. In resistance, mastery is forged. When chaos strikes, the weak panic, the strong remain steady. Strength is not found in brute force alone, but in the ability to remain calm under pressure. The man who endures prevails. The man who masters his mind commands his fate. Endure, adapt, and become unbreakable. Chapter 7. The Power of Solitude. Weak men fear solitude. They drown themselves in distractions, mindless entertainment, endless scrolling, shallow conversations, doing everything to avoid being alone with their own thoughts. They chase validation, mistaking external approval for self-worth. But in doing so, they rob themselves of the greatest tool for self-mastery, solitude. The strong man embraces solitude. He understands that true clarity, wisdom, and power come from moments of stillness. He does not run from his thoughts. He engages with them. He does not fear silence. He welcomes it, knowing that in solitude he can dissect his weaknesses, refine his purpose, and sharpen his mind. Seneca wrote, "Nothing to my way of thinking is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company." A man who cannot be alone has not yet built himself into someone worth being alone with. To master solitude is to master the mind. It is in these quiet moments that a man gains true self-awareness. Stripped of distractions, he faces himself honestly, his fears, ambitions, and limitations. Without solitude, a man never truly knows who he is, and without self-knowledge, he can never achieve mastery over his own destiny. The weak avoid solitude because it forces them to confront hard truths. They seek noise to numb themselves, filling their days with superficial entertainment instead of meaningful introspection. The strong man does the opposite. He seeks solitude deliberately, knowing it is the proving ground of self-sufficiency. He does not need the opinions of others to validate his worth. He does not sway with trends or crumble under judgment. Instead, he moves with certainty, grounded in his own values, unshaken by the shifting tides of public opinion. A man who rules his solitude rules his life. In the quiet, he strategizes, builds discipline, and strengthens his will. Solitude is not a void. It is an opportunity. It is where a man hardens himself against weakness, refines his mission, and sculpts himself into the highest version of what he can be. If you wish to be strong, seek silence. If you wish to be unbreakable, learn to be alone. Greatness is not forged in the noise of the world, but in the quiet determination of a man who dares to stand alone. Chapter 8. Controlling the Chaos of the Mind. A man who cannot control his mind is a man who will always be controlled by emotions, by fear, by the opinions of others. Weak men allow their thoughts to dominate them. They dwell on regret, obsess over fears, and drown in worries. Their emotions dictate their choices, making them erratic, anxious, and easily manipulated. The strong man, however, rules his mind with discipline. He understands that thoughts are tools, not masters. He doesn't let fleeting emotions determine his path. He shapes his own course, unmoved by external chaos. A disciplined mind is a fortress, one that remains steady no matter the turbulence outside. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Mental discipline means eliminating unnecessary worry, silencing self-doubt, and cultivating inner stillness. A weak man's mind is a battlefield of anxiety, regret, and over-analysis. He is trapped in the past, replaying mistakes, or paralyzed by imaginary fears of the future. He reacts impulsively, allowing his emotions to dictate his destiny. The strong man refuses to be consumed by such thoughts. He acknowledges them, but he does not obey them. Instead, he filters out distractions, controls his focus, and directs his mind toward what truly matters. A powerful mind is an unbreakable force. It does not wander aimlessly, lost in distraction. It is precise, deliberate, and relentless in its pursuit of mastery. The strong man knows that every great achievement begins in the mind before it is realized in the world. Without mental discipline, a man is a slave to his impulses. With it, he commands his fate. Every day you face an internal war, the temptation to quit, the lure of easy pleasure, the whispers of self-doubt. The man who masters his mind wins this war. He chooses discipline over indulgence, control over chaos, action over hesitation. He does not react, he decides. And in that decision, he becomes unstoppable. Strengthen your mind, and no force will shake you. Train yourself to observe your thoughts without being ruled by them. Replace doubt with discipline, fear with focus, and weakness with unwavering will. 9. The warrior's mentality is not just about winning, it is about becoming someone who cannot be defeated. True victory is not found in a single battle, but in the commitment to rise every time you fall. Strength is not inherited. It is forged through struggle, sweat, and sacrifice. A warrior doesn't kneel before hardship. He welcomes it as a test. When others break, he endures. When others complain, he takes action. He doesn't seek comfort, he seeks transformation. His greatest weapon is not his strength or skill, but his refusal to be broken. Train your body as well as your mind. See obstacles as training, not setbacks. Cultivate a mindset that thrives under pressure and welcomes difficulty. The warrior doesn't ask for an easy road. He demands the strength to walk the hardest one. Chapter 9. The Warrior's Mentality. A man must adopt the mentality of a warrior if he wishes to conquer his weaknesses. Life is a battlefield, and only those who are mentally, physically, and spiritually prepared will thrive. Weak men shrink from struggle, retreating at the first sign of difficulty. They surrender to fear, allowing obstacles to define their limits. The strong man, however, embraces the fight. He sees every hardship as a test, an opportunity to prove his resilience and fortitude. He does not seek an easy path. He seeks one that will forge him into something greater. The Stoics admired the warrior spirit, unwavering, unshaken by fear, and prepared to meet challenges head-on. A warrior does not complain about his circumstances. He adapts, overcomes, and moves forward. He sees pain as training, adversity as his sharpening stone. He understands that comfort is the enemy of growth, so he deliberately places himself in situations that test his endurance. When others retreat, he stands firm. When others hesitate, he acts. He does not seek recklessness, but he is relentless. To think like a warrior is to eliminate the option of retreat. The weak man sees failure as an endpoint, a reason to quit. He allows setbacks to shatter his confidence. The warrior, however, sees failure as feedback, a lesson that refines his skills. He does not fear the battle because he has already won the war in his mind. His will is stronger than any obstacle, his discipline unshakable, his resolve absolute. A warrior does not wait for ideal conditions. He creates them. He does not dream of success. He forces it into existence through daily combat with his weaker self. He does not pray for an easier road. He prays for the strength to walk the hardest path and emerge victorious. Chapter 10. The Legacy of Strength. A man's legacy is not built in moments of comfort, but in the trials he endures. Weak men leave nothing behind but regret, wasted potential, excuses, and a life lived passively. They drift through existence, hoping that time itself will grant them significance, never realizing that only action, discipline, and relentless effort create a lasting impact. The strong man understands that legacy is forged through sacrifice, resilience, and unwavering character. He does not merely exist, he lives with purpose, setting an example of strength for those who follow. He knows that his influence extends beyond himself, that his actions today shape the world long after he is gone. Seneca wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it, but most men squander their years, lost in distraction, indulgence, and hesitation. They mistake comfort for fulfillment, idleness for peace, all while time slips through their fingers." A man who dedicates himself to discipline and wisdom will leave an impact that outlasts his own life. He does not chase superficial pleasures or waste energy seeking approval. He does not live for fleeting validation. He seeks mastery. His ambition is fueled not by the opinions of others, but by an unrelenting desire to push beyond his limits. True legacy is not measured in wealth, fame, or status. It is measured in character, discipline, and the lives you influence. Every act of discipline, every hardship endured, and every principle upheld carves your name into the fabric of time. When the strong man is gone, his presence is still felt. Through the lessons he taught, the strength he displayed, and the example he set. He does not fear death, for he has lived with honor. He does not look back with regret, but with pride, knowing he has extracted every ounce of potential from his existence. He does not wonder, what if? He stands at the end of his journey and declares, "I did." A man who forges himself in discipline and purpose does not need to chase immortality. His legacy ensures he never truly dies. He is not just remembered, he is revered. His existence stands as proof that greatness is not given, but built, brick by brick, through a lifetime of relentless effort. Become someone worth remembering. Lead by example. Be a beacon of discipline and strength. Waste no day. Treat every moment as an opportunity to sharpen yourself. Strength is built through discipline, sacrifice, and relentless action. You are not here to be ruled by weakness. You are here to conquer it. Comment below, "No more weakness." If this resonates with you, like, subscribe, and stay ready for the next challenge.